Hello everyone, welcome to another good, well-researched quality, made with love and care video. Nah, I'm just kidding, you silly. I'm a liar, I'm a sneaky, mischievous, silly little liar. Peter, explain why I'm a cute, silly little guy.
Hey guys, Peter Griffin Family Guy here. Breath is saying he is a cute silly guy because he just said an incorrect statement about this video. In his statement, he said, in quote, "Welcome to another good, well-researched, quality, made with love and care video," where in fact he means the opposite. He actually means that this video is not good, not well-researched. The quality is not his priority, and I made this with contempt. He then proceeded to giggle and admit to his false statement, which makes him a cute, silly guy and not a pathological liar. That's all. Peter out.
Thanks, Peter. Now, the thing we're going to talk about today is lying, deceit, false, untruth, all that kind of stuff. Like, what is lying really? What is the science behind it? Is it something we humans are in nature? Are we just born liars? And are you a liar? We humans lie due to several reasons, mostly to avoid doing something, impress other people, hide stuffs, and many other kinds of shits. According to Zeti's recent 2020 research, over 1,000 Americans, the most common lies include feeling sick, family emergency, doctor's appointment, and surprisingly lying about the death of a family member. And out of those respondents, 27% of them regretted it, while 41% will lie again. A psychologist named Bella De Paulo said that lying is simply a condition of life, meaning that lying comes naturally to us humans. There are three main parts in our brain that triggers or stimulates when we commit an act of lying. The first is our frontal lobe, which is responsible for control over how we think, how we act, how we move. It's basically the part of the brain that acts like a keyboard. It's the thing that controls different parts. The second is our limbic system. It's the part of the brain that is responsible for our behavioral and emotional response. Basically, this is where our emotions come from, especially when it comes to behaviors in survival like feeding, reproduction, the fight or flight response, you know, those stuffs. This is also the reason why we feel guilty or stressed when we lie. The third and final part is the temporal lobe. It's responsible for creating mental imagery. I don't know. It's the part of the brain that helps us use our senses to understand and respond to the world around us. There's also another part, which is the anterior cingulate cortex, where it's the one monitoring errors, trying to avoid plot holes in our lies, and also the dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex, where it's tasked to control our behavior. This just means that whenever we lie, our brain is on a 9-to-5 job, working and busy all over the place when we lie. And it's better for our brain when we're not lying because it does not cause our limbic system stress and our frontal lobe free from hiding the truth. There are several people in history where lying became a huge thing for us humans, where a simple act of intentionally telling a false statement caused a huge problem. On June 17, 1972, 5 men were arrested after breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Watergate building in Washington, D.C., where the media, led by reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, did everything they can to expose wiretaps, secret documents, and hush money, where the current president at that time, Richard Nixon, denied his involvement, saying to the nationally televised press conference that "I am not a crook." Then later was found he was actually lying, and later on resigned from his second term in office on August 9, 1974. Some members of the Chicago White Sox accepted a bribe of $100,000, which is around $1.4 million today, to throw their game to the Cincinnati Reds to lose in the 1919 World Series. When the pitcher, Eddie Cicotte, asked why they did it, he said, "I don't know why I did it. I must have been crazy." He and 7 other players, including shoeless Joe Jackson, were indicated on 9 counts of conspiracy but acquitted by a jury, and they were banned from the Major League Baseball for life. Now, the more important question is, would you take it? Let's say you're a professional sports player. If you were offered $1.4 million to not play the sports professionally anymore, would you accept it? I mean, $1.4 million for your ban in the sports you're playing, and also the shame, the public shame that will come with it. I probably would. I mean, it's not like you can't play the game anymore. You can still play it, just not professionally, so probably would. Anna Anderson. In 1918, Bolshevik revolutionaries executed Russian Tsar Nicholas II, the Empress, and their 5 children, but one survived or escaped, no one knows. She just gone missing, and her name is Anastasia Romanov, the youngest daughter. Many impersonators use this opportunity to claim that they're the missing Anastasia, but one stood out among the rest: Anna Anderson. Real name, Franziska Zakołowska, a Polish worker, claimed that she's the missing Anastasia and was successful until her death in 1984. Charles Ponzi. You might have heard of him. He's the founder of the Ponzi Scheme, the man who made the world a worse place than it already is. You probably know what the fuck a Ponzi Scheme is, but in case you don't know, here's a simple explanation. Basically, the scheme begins by convincing people to invest money with promises of high returns with low risk. Then these people will pass it through word of mouth. The scammer will then use the money from new investors to pay earlier investors, so it looks like it actually works. But then when there are too much investors coming in, or too many investors are asking for their money, the scam stops and the scammer runs away with the money. Surprise! Even though it's invented somewhere like fucking 50 billion years ago, it still works to this day. There's still old hags. I mean, there's also young people still scammed by, the pyramid scheme, the Ponzi scheme. Phineas Taylor Barnum, also known as P.T. Barnum, is a gifted showman who exploited the public's desire to be amazed. The first spectacle he did is he spread the word of a nursemaid of George Washington named Joyce Heath, who is actually a 161-year-old woman, which obviously captured the public's attention, so he continued to plant embellishments and lies in newspapers, which in turn made him profit. But then later, after the death of Joyce Heath, the supposedly 161-year-old was found that she's actually no more than 80 years old. But he did not just stop there, because when he got sick, he arranged a fake news for the publication of his own obituary just so he could read it before he died, which is something I'd probably also do. In 1912, a fossil enthusiast Charles Dawson and geologist Arthur Smith Woodward announced unearthing of human-like skull fragments and an ape-like jawbone from a gravel pit near Piltdown, England. Naturally, of course, this is a big find in the missing link connecting ape to human. This is a big news for the science world, and probably not just the science world but the whole world. But of course, you know what the video is about. It was later found that was a fraud and the bones were stained to resemble Asian fossils. The teeth are from an orangutan that had been filed down to appear human. These are just 6 examples of liars that fucked many people up. The whole United States, the MLB fandom, Russians, the whole fucking world until now, the public during P.T. Barnum's trolling, and the science world. This makes you wonder, wouldn't it be better if humans just never lied or isn't capable of lying? Well, that's what happens in the movie Invention of Lying, but I ain't explaining all that. Just read this on why the movie is a fucking mess and inaccurate. Still a good watch though, in my opinion.
I invented the bicycle.
I love your work.
But what would actually happen if we never had the ability to lie? The whole world would probably be a better place, right? Well, yeah, you're probably right. We probably will progress faster because there will be less of yes men, less conflicts, more trustworthy people, lower crime rates, better everything, Most problems really begin with one small lie that snowballs into a huge thing.
Boom.
This topic reminded me of something I've known for years and years and years. The boy who cried wolf. Where a shepherd boy was tasked to watch the village sheep, but due to boredom, he decided to throw the village, so he cried wolf. The villagers ran out but found no wolf, so they told the boy to not do that unless there's actually a wolf. But of course, later the boy again did this and cried wolf. The villagers again ran towards the sheep but found no wolf again. They scolded the boy to stop doing that unless there's actually a wolf. But then later, the boy actually saw a wolf. He then cried wolf but no one responded, so he tried to run through the village to ask for help, but a villager stopped him on his tracks to stop him from annoying the villagers. But the boy insisted that there's actually a wolf. The villager didn't believe it and said that if he did not stop doing that, he will suffer something worse than death. The boy again insisted, but the villager didn't believe him and told him to go back. The boy, of course, scared as fuck, decided to go back to the sheep to at least drive the wolf away himself. So he threw rocks to the wolf, but unfortunately it just upsets the wolf even more. So in turn, the wolf targeted the boy, devouring him. Cursed for his deceit, the boy's spirit was condemned to watch his family be devoured by the wolf repeatedly, unable to intervene or scream, a silent witness to their agony for all eternity.